Hello, welcome to Criminal Justice Couch Talk with Mimi Harville. I am a student at the University of Phoenix, and this is a part of my capstone project. My assignment is to discuss ethics, professional behavior, and explain the critical thinking role. First of all, I want to address the word ethics. Ethics is a moral choice of right or wrong, but it is still based upon good reasons. Professional behavior is the use of ethics as a guideline to professional behavior. Department policies will mandate your actions. Your ethics will affect how you behave within those guidelines. This could be a matter of dress. It could be a matter of authority, how you handle authority. What about use of force? How you actually affect the law? It's a definite combination. Ethics and professional behavior are a combination of what you believe to be true and what your department tells you to be true. Next is critical thinking. Critical thinking is an idea where you have careful thought and judicious evaluation. Careful thought involves outside the box thinking. You have to think about who you're talking to. What are they saying? What do you believe to be true? What do you see? Careful thought means you will look beyond the typical questionnaire you might be given at a scene. Critical thinking is looking beyond what is the obvious and taking a chance on asking questions. Don't make assumptions. Don't allow third-party people to tell you what's going on. You evaluate the evidence based on what you see today, and you think about how you would change the outcome. It's a non-traditional idea, but it's very valuable. But it's a lot of personal responsibility, and when you take these evaluations, you've got to be able to back them up, and you've got to back them up with legal stuff. It's got to be the real deal, okay? You can't just say like, oh, I think this, therefore it is. You've got to be able to substantiate everything that you believe in. And what I enjoy about critical thinking is it's a puzzle, and you work from whatever direction you want to work from, but you come up with a real, valid, legal option. The second part of critical thinking, in my opinion, is the fact that it's judicious. This is a legal byproduct. Police officers are the first ones on the ground, and when they come upon a situation with actors, and I will use that term, situations and actors, they have to realize, the policeman has to realize that this will be a judicial situation. These people might go to jail, and that will change their lives forever. So critical thinking, not only can it be outside the box, but it also must be inside the box. You've got to realize that what you're doing will impact other people forever. Part of my assignment is to select 5 areas of ethical conduct that I think would be productive in a seminar. So for me, I would like to stress objectivity. I think that we don't listen to others enough, and I feel like that we should listen to others without imparting our personal or subjective views. Police officers should go into the public, do their job, and listen to all sides of the story. We've heard it all of our careers. You know, my side, your side, and the real side, right? So we need to accept the facts as stated and work on those. This protects the police officer from making a false assumption and provides the community with an honest view of what's really going on, which gains confidence from our community. The second area of ethical conduct I think should be stressed is empathy. Empathy means you feel what the person is feeling. It doesn't mean you agree with it or you accept it as your own. So when a police officer actively listens to others and empathizes with them, there's an area in there of nonverbal communication where the officer might actually gain extra intelligence to understanding the situation and the actors involved. And when you take things at face value, it's exactly that. It's a face value. There are underlying things that make suspects or actors behave in the manner that they do. And I feel empathetically we should look at that and then put it into our critical thinking puzzle. A third thing I think we should do is use of authority. We got to realize that police officers are already authoritative individuals. And if you abuse that use of authority, or you have a coercion or a subjective thing that you want to do for your own right, you can't do that. That sullies the uniform. It makes the community distrust all types of authority. And once we lose our community's trust, we can almost never gain it back. And that thwarts the community being a safe area, and it makes law enforcement more difficult. So let's not do that. Let's not abuse authority. Along the lines of use of authority is the use of force. And when I say use of force, I'm talking not just use of force like I want to shoot you, but I'm talking use of force in the parameters of, do you really want to put someone in handcuffs? Do you really want to drag them into your squad car? Do you really want to engage in a pursuit? Use of force right now in my perception of criminal justice or in policing is a huge thing, because when you make a wrong decision as a police officer to use force, you are going to harm people that did not wake up that morning to be in a police situation. Once again, actors in a situation. Imagine a person stole a weapon from a gun shop. Now this person drives away. The police officer responds. The police officer decides to chase them down. We're in the middle of Ybor City. There's a mom over here walking her baby, a guy over here walking his dog. These people are all now actors in this situation. That police officer chose the chase. We got to think about, is that the right thing? Because now everyone involved can be harmed. So use of force needs to be something that we think about, because the community's greater good is going to dissolve when we make a bad choice. When we kill that baby, when we kill that dad walking the dog, we can't get that trust back. Once again, we can't get that trust back. I also want to look at the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. And I understand due process. We all do. At this level of our education, we understand due process. But sometimes not arresting a suspect is better than arresting a suspect. When we don't arrest a suspect, we have the ability to educate and mentor that individual. We can have an open dialogue and discuss their behavior, the behavior that might ensue from criminal justice, and then what that might mean to both parties. But once we arrest that individual or that suspect, we detain them, that dialogue's gone. We can no longer educate or mentor. They are now a criminal. I want to leave you with a takeaway. This is a religious person in the Bible, but I don't mean for it to be a religious statement. I just feel like this is such a wonderful example of critical thinking. King Solomon's a character in the Bible, and he was a very wise man, and he was rather unorthodox. So I'm going to read you this story right here. Two women sought King Solomon to dispute an issue of maternity. These two women were prostitutes. Each of them gave birth to a baby, but one baby died. The women came to Solomon and asked him to select which woman got the living child. King Solomon listened to both of the sides of the story, and he asked for a sword. So King Solomon has a sword. He's raising the sword over the child. One woman stops. She cries. She goes, "Stop. Give the child to that woman." The second woman says, "The child belongs to neither of us. Cut it in half and divide it." So the wisdom of King Solomon, he gave the child to the first woman. She cared more about that child than she did about her own loss of a child. She wanted that child to survive regardless of what she had. The second woman didn't care. She wanted the child to be chopped up and be done with. That's a perfect example of critical thinking. It's rather graphic and probably oversimplified. Bottom line is, King Solomon took in the information, he acted upon his information, he stood behind his information, he listened to the people around him, he heard their motivation, and he made a decision. Critical thinking is the key to managing ethics and professional behavior in criminal justice. Thank you so much for listening and watching today. This has been a Mimi Says production. Goodbye.